Affordability, that is the buzzword for this election. And let's just tick off some of the things you want: to rent freeze for stabilized apartments, free bus service, free child care for kids 6 weeks to 5 years old,
Yes.
city-owned grocery stores, a pilot program, one in each borough, 200,000 units of affordable housing over 10 years, all paid for by adding a 2% tax on anyone with an income over $1 million and having the top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey.
This is great.
Okay, yeah. Did my research.
You got it.
None of that's doable without Albany, right? So you've received the endorsements of the top legislative leaders and Governor Hochul, conversations with them, because what happens if you don't get that? Then what's plan B?
So I'd love to go through a number of these. Some of these are actually within the city's powers themselves. Freezing the rent for stabilized tenants. That's something the city can do and has done through the Rent Guidelines Board. Composed of 9 people, the mayor appoints all of them. Previous administration froze the rent 3 times. So that is firmly within the city's purview. The second is the pilot program of municipal-owned grocery stores, one in each borough. That's 5 grocery stores that cost $60 million. It's less than half of the cost the city is currently putting towards a program called City Fresh that subsidizes a number of corporate supermarkets across New York City.
Right, that already exists. So you would expand that? Is that?
I've talked about, and I've actually heard from a number of grocery store owners about how this program is one that is failing them, oftentimes providing subsidy for a competitor, but not, the equal application of that for the grocery stores in the neighborhood.
So why not just fix it?
Well, this, I think, is a fix. It's a fix to actually ensure that if we're putting money aside, that we are putting it aside for the delivery of cheaper groceries, as opposed to right now, we're putting subsidies aside. There's no guarantee that they employ union labor, no guarantee that they accept SNAP or WIC, no guarantee that they'll lower prices. It's just kind of a...
But you
hope
could
for the
make
same.
that part of the deal.
And I think to me, I want to ensure that we are directly interacting with New Yorkers and able to guarantee those cheaper prices. So, but I give you these as 2 examples of things that the city can do on its own. But with Albany, it'll be critically important to work with Albany for the financing and funding of making buses free. That's around $700 million a year. The financing and funding of delivering universal childcare. That's about $5 or $6 billion. And I'm very excited that of all of the people in Albany, we've received the endorsements, especially of Carl Heastie, who's the Speaker of the State Assembly, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, the Majority Leader of the State Senate, and Governor Kathy Hochul. And as you know, in Albany, it's often described as 3 men in a room. In the past now, it's 2 women and a man in the room. But these are the 3 people who are helping to lead this state. They've not endorsed just my campaign, but also our affordability agenda. And, when Speaker Heastie was asked, which part of the agenda do you agree with? He said, all of the above. And it speaks to a partnership that we're actually building such that we can deliver on this agenda for New Yorkers. And we've seen that there's an interest in that. Governor Hochul has been interested in universal childcare before I was running for mayor. This is a real place where we could work together, unlike what it was like when Andrew Cuomo was leading the state, Bill de Blasio was the mayor. It seemed as if City Hall and Albany were consistently at odds. When City Hall wanted to deliver universal pre-K, they had to fight Andrew Cuomo to be able to do so. Now we can have a relationship that's built on understanding that we both have the same constituents, the people of New York City.
So you're very confident that
Yes.
that they're going to go for this.
I'm confident in that partnership, and I've also said time and again, look, I think the revenue proposals that you cited are the most straightforward and direct ways of raising this funds, and I am most married to the outcomes of this. So if someone were to provide a different set of funds, of a different revenue stream, whatever it may be, the most important thing is that we are funding the programs, not the manner in which we do so.
Okay.